Pokemon Red and Pokemon Blue, the two games that came to the United States and Florida. Of course, I had Pokemon Blue. My brother had Pokemon Red. I made this choice entirely upon the version exclusive Pokemon in the game. I wanted Bellsprout and Sandshrew. I didn't really care for Ekans and Oddish. Probably have them all now in my new version. Anyway, Pokemon Red and Blue were the two games that started it all. They have all the core concepts of Pokemon, the trading and battling with friends, the collecting of 150 different weird collectible monsters, each with their own stats and elemental types. This game had the original 15 types, which will later be expanded, and also a difference between. There are a couple differences with the stats in later games. There are 5 stats in the first game: HP, attack, defense, speed, and special. Special determined how powerful your special attacks were and how strongly you defended against special attacks, which changed in the later games. Also, in the original game and the next two, certain attack types would be physical and certain attack types would be special. For example, fire, water, grass, dragon? Don't remember about dragon. Ice, those sort of things were always special. Even if it was fire punch, it was still special. That would change in the later games, which I think made more sense. Anyway, the 150 monsters in the original Pokemon will always be remembered as the original 150. It was a great mix. It was a great number. You had a good amount of 3-stage Pokemon. You had your original 3, which we will always remember: Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur. What's interesting to think of at the beginning is that Blastoise was the only one that remained one type. Venusaur was poison grass, which seems like all the grass Pokemon in that game were poison grass, which really just kind of sucked. At least in that game, poison meant you pretty much got your ass kicked by Psychic. In Red and Blue, Psychic's Pokemon were awesome. They just were. Alakazam kicked ass. Mewtwo, of course, he was the most powerful Pokemon. Of course, he kicked ass. So there were, in the next few games, that have a little bit of type reshuffling and bouncing. So the first game that came out, it was kind of crude. It was kind of it wasn't so balanced. It's been a formula that's been worked on with each game, which is really nice. But it's weird to look back at the first one and just see what it was like. For example, the Pokemon art in the first game was just, I mean, the series is kind of known for being all cutesy with its monsters and stuff. If you look at the art in the first game, some of those things are not cute at all. Like Pikachu, he doesn't look so cute. He's definitely a weird little rat thing. In the later games, in fact, even in Pokemon Yellow, which features Pikachu right there, they would change the art style to fit what the art in the anime and in the like the images in magazines and stuff would be. So if you look back at the first game, it's just kind of weird, but I mean, again, it's just amazing that game started a revolution. What else is there to say about the original Pokemon Red and Blue? The glitches. There are some glitches in this game. In fact, you could actually, a lot of them were actually beneficial to you. There's a glitch where you can get Mew in the first game. This wasn't discovered until like a few years after it came out in the United States, even. But you can get Mew, who was secret 151st Pokemon, the father of Mewtwo, or clone originator, whatever you want to call it. There's also Glitch City, which was where you did something and then Cinnabar Island got really messed up. It's just weird. There's also one where you could, like, something involving Missigno, which is missing number, what the game's trying to say. If you do certain things around Cinnabar Island, you can attempt to catch this monster called Missigno, which is just this garbled image of data that it produces. I don't even know what tax it has, but I don't even know if you can catch it. I would advise against catching it either way, because it's a glitch that could really mess up your game. But I remember that you could, like, catch some weird 100 level, like I caught 128, 156 level Charmeleon for some reason. There's also, and it might even be the same glitch where you could make like a bunch of copies of an item in your box or in your backpack, which a lot of people use to copy rare candies, which would upgrade your Pokemon's level by 1 each time you used one. What other glitches in the game? There's also some weird things in the game. For example, there's like this truck that when you go out to the boat in Vermilion City, it's just sitting there. Nobody knew what it was. People were like, is Mewtwo in it? Is God in it? What is that truck doing there? I mean, apparently the answer is just nothing. There's nothing with the truck. It's just there. It's just some piece of programming that they just didn't use. It was kind of weird. Memories I'll have from the first game. I remember I picked Charmeleon Charmander the first time. So when I got to the first couple gyms, it was a bitch. Like in that game, in the first game, they didn't give you if you didn't pick Charmander, you were screwed for Brock. He was tough because he resisted all your Pokemon. But the secret was you had to get a Butterfree because it won Confusion, which was the special attack, and that just killed his Pokemon because they didn't have much special at all. I remember that being the trick for him. Misty always sucked because you could get trapped in Cerulean, like you couldn't go back over and retrain your Pokemon. You pretty much had to stay in the same area and fight the same Sandshrews and Ekans and everything. So she was tough too, and also clad in a bikini for some reason, which they don't really do in the remakes for that game. I mean, I just have so many memories with this game. I liked Nidoking and Pinsir and Charizard, and I think I had a Poliwrath and Executor and Alakazam. My Alakazam was the shit. I had one called Bree. It was orange for some reason in Pokemon Stadium, but he kicked ass. I had Gyarados. I had all sorts of Pokemon. I mean, this was the original game. This was all sorts of fun. Pokemon Blue was great. It started the franchise. It needed work put on it, and they improved the concept with time. So Pokemon Blue will always be in my memories as a good time. In fact, I've got my game save file right here, and I was just looking at the Pokemon recently. Did I ever write you? I may have had to write you. I'll see you again when I talk about these two games, Gold and Silver, the next games in the franchise, in which they've introduced a lot of interesting concepts. So, hope you enjoyed the video, and see you next time.